Hello friends, let's see 6th standard syllabus. All subjects are included in this standard like English grammar, English book, Hindi, Marathi, mathematics, science, history, civics and geography. Now let's see English grammar. In this subject, topic contains study. Study contains all English grammar chapter. We are also cover textbook and 6th standard English grammar. Let's see example topic articles. In articles, introduction of article is given. In that, you see we are not included only textual information, but also we added background voice, animations, images and videos which will help to improve your educational knowledge, and at the time of study you don't getting bored. Now
11. Articles. The adjectives a or an and the are usually called articles. They are really demonstrative adjectives. A or an is called the indefinite article because it leaves indefinite the person or a thing spoken of, as a doctor, that is any doctor. The is called the definite article because it points out some particular person or a thing, as he saw the doctor, meaning some particular doctor. A or an. The choice between a or an is determined by sound. Before a word beginning with a vowel sound, an is used, as an ass, an enemy, an inkpot, an orange, an umbrella, an hour, an honest man, and an heir, etc. Before a word beginning with a consonant sound, a is used as a boy, a woman, a yard, a horse, a whore, etc. The definite article the is used when we speak of a particular person or a thing, when a singular noun is meant to represent whole thing with names of the gulfs, rivers, seas, oceans, etc. Example, I dislike the fellow. The cow is a useful animal. The Himalayas lie to the north of India.
friends, introduction of article is closed. Then after we are moved to next subject is English book. In this subject, study is given. In study, all the topics are given in this topic. We take one topic for demo, which is running through the rain. In this poem, we see that there is not only textual information provided, but also animations, background sound, images are included, which will improve your knowledge. Here, we giving all the question and answers related to the topic, which will help you to doing study within short period.
Chapter 9. Running through the rain. Meanings: trips, move with quick light step. Delightful, great pleasure. Blossoms, a mass of flowers. Rain, useless. Gilt, cover with thin layer of gold. Here, sunshine. Drips, fall in drops. Paraphrase, some people are fond of sunshine. I also like sunshine. But I like rain also that falls from the sky. The month of April is merry. Breezes and clouds and rain gently move over the hills and plains. Isn't it delightful running through the rain? On the way, there are bright-eyed little blossoms growing. They look up as we pass them. They seem to laugh and say, answer the following. Why is the month of April called Mercy? The month of April is called Mercy because the rain starts falling from the sky and drips over hills and plains. There are bright little blossoms growing by the way. The poet finds it delightful to own through the rain. What do the blossoms say? The blossoms say, so the shower has caught you and escape is vain. Isn't it delightful running through the rain? Why does the poet not complain? The poet does not complain because he finds it delightful running through the rain. Language study. Find the words in the poem that rhyme with rain. Answer: plain, vain, complain. List all the words in the poem that show movement. Answer: falling, drips, running, pass. Find the words and phrases in the poem in which the same sound is repeated. Peter, patter, drip, drop. Running through the rain. Answer the following questions. Which weather are some people fond of? Some people are fond of sunshine. Where does Merry April trip over? The Merry April trips over hills and plains. Mention the sound made by the raindrop. The raindrops fall making a sound of pitter patter. What does the sunbeam do? The peeping sunbeam glides through the scented ground. Find all the words in the poem that show movement. Pass, falling trips, running, escape, drip, drop.
Friends, Running Through the Rain poem is completed. After that, now we stop the subject English book, and after that we are going to next subject is Hindi. Friends, let's see Hindi subject. In Hindi, study is given. In study section, there are 4 parts are given, which is पहली इकाई, दूसरी इकाई, तीसरी इकाई, चौथी इकाई. Here we are divided all the chapters of Hindi subject in given 4 parts. For demo, let's see चौथी इकाई. In this we see some topics name. In this we see Sathi poem. Friends, in this poem we see that
सुनो और बताओ. पाठ तीसरा, साथी. मोना बैठी गुमसुम आज, सूना सूना सा लगता घर, उसको कुछ काम न काज. कैसे समय बिताऊं मैं, किसके घर अब जाऊं मैं. तभी अचानक पड़ा सुनाई मधुर मधुर सा गीत. प्यारी बच्ची मत घबराओ, मुझे बनाओ मीत. एक बार साथी बनकर नाता कभी ना तोड़ू. कुट्टी मेरे पास न फटके, हाथ कभी ना छोड़ू. अरे कौन तुम मुझे बताओ, क्या है नाम तुम्हारा.
Friends, we see that in this poem there is not only textual information given but also background voice, images, animations are also given, which is help to you doing study more easily.
बोल तुम्हारे सुंदर ऐसे जैसे रस की धारा. मुझको पुस्तक कहता कोई, कोई कहे किताब. हर सवाल का रखती हूं मैं अपने पास जवाब. बनूं सहेली सबसे अच्छी, रखो अपने पास. कभी नहीं वह रही अकेली, ना ही कभी उदास. लता पंत.
Friends, now we are close to Hindi subject and going to next subject is Marathi. In Marathi study, part is given in which contain all the topics of Marathi. Also we cover all the textbook of Marathi subject. For example, let's see Paus. Friends, in this topic we see two parts. First is introduction and second is question and answer. First, we are see the introduction of PAUSE. In introduction, we are not see textual information but also providing background music, animations and images which is help to understand all topic easily.
पाठ 5वा पाऊस. आला आला वादळ वारा, घेऊन संगे पाऊस धारा. पाऊस पाऊस खेळूया, धारा मुठीत पकडूया. पाण्यात खूप नाचूया, भिजून चिंब होऊया. वारा असा वेगात पळतो, पाऊस आमचा घेऊन जातो. पकडून ठेवूया वाऱ्याला, पुन्हा आणूया पावसाला. अरे हा लपून बसला कुठे, गेला वाटतं आल्या वाटे.
After that, friends, we are going to question and answer. First, we are see the introduction of PAUSE. After that, we are show the question and answer. In this section, we are adding all types of question which is helpful for student at the time of exam.
कविता 5वी. पाऊस. कवितेचा परिचय. या कवितेतला मुलगा पाऊस आल्यावर त्या पावसाला आपल्या मुठीत धरून ठेवणार आहे. पावसात नाचणार आहे, भिजून चिंब होणार आहे. कवितेचा अर्थ. कवी सांगत आहे की वादळ वारा आला आहे. येताना तो आपल्या बरोबर पावसाच्या धारा घेऊन आला आहे. कवी सांगत आहे की आता तो पाऊस पाऊस खेळणार आहे. पावसाच्या धारांना आपल्या मुठीत पकडणार आहे. पाण्यामध्ये कवी मनसोक्त नाचणार आहे, भिजून चिंब होणार आहे. कवी सांगतो आहे की पाऊस पडत असताना वारा जोरात येतो आणि आपल्या बरोबर पावसाला घेऊन जातो. त्यामुळे आपण या वाऱ्यालाच पकडून ठेवूया आणि पावसाला पुन्हा घेऊन येऊया. पण पाऊस निघून गेला आहे. कवीला वाटतं की तो पाऊस लपून बसला आहे. ज्या वाटेनं तो आला होता त्याच वाटेनं तो निघून गेला असावा. शब्दार्थ. वादळ वारा, तुफान वारा. संगे बरोबर. चिंब पूर्ण. वेगात जोरात. भिजणे ओले होणे. वाटते भासते. मूठ हाताचा बंद पंजा. विरुद्धार्थी शब्द. जवळ लांब. मोठ्याने हळू. खाली वर. नंतर आधी. पकडणे सोडणे. आला गेला. एका वाक्यात उत्तरे द्या. वादळ वारा आपल्या संगे काय घेऊन आला? वादळ वारा आपल्या संगे पाऊस घेऊन आला. पाऊस केव्हा जातो? वेगात वारे सुटल्यावर पाऊस जातो. कवी कोणाला पकडून ठेवू इच्छित आहे? कवी वाऱ्याला पकडून ठेवू इच्छित आहे. वारा कोणाला घेऊन जातो? वारा पावसाला घेऊन जातो. मुलगा पाण्यात काय करणार आहे? मुलगा पाण्यात नाचणार आहे. कवी मुठीत काय पकडणार आहे? कवी पावसाच्या धारा मुठीत पकडणार आहे. थोडक्यात उत्तरे लिहा. कवीला पावसाच्या पाण्यात काय करावेसे वाटते? कवीला वाटते आपण पावसात खेळ खेळूया, पावसाच्या धारा मुठीत पकडूया, पावसाच्या पाण्यात नाचूया आणि चिंब भिजून पावसाची मजा लुटूया. कवी वाऱ्याला पकडून का ठेवणार आहे? पावसाबरोबर वारा येतो आणि त्यामुळे पावसाचे ढग पुढे वाहत जातात आणि हा वारा पाऊस पण घेऊन जातो. म्हणून कवी वाऱ्याला पकडून ठेवणार आहे.
Friends, now we are show the introduction and question and answer of PAUSE. Now we are close the Marathi subject and we are going to the next subject. The next subject is mathematics. In mathematics, there is two parts. First is study and second is exercise. Let's see first part, that is study. In the study, all the topics are given. We are cover all the textbook of 6th standard. For example, we will see natural numbers and whole numbers. Here we are introduction of that topic. In this topic, we include all the details information which is related to the topic in the form of text, background voice, animation and images, which will increase your interest to doing study, and also give the solved example which will help to doing study more effectively.
Numbers. In day-to-day life, in order to give different kinds of information to others or to convey the thoughts of our mind, we use words from our respective languages. While thinking of various qualities such as color, form, size, etc. of things in a collection, we also wonder how many things the collection contains. In order to know the quantity of the objects in the group, the concept of numbers is used.
Number names and symbols. Number symbols are used to express numbers. For the same number, different number symbols are used in different languages. Some numbers in common use are given here. Numbers, number names and number symbols stand for different concepts or ideas. Still, for our convenience, we collectively use the word numbers for all of them.
Natural numbers. In order to tell the quantity of objects within a collection or to count the objects, natural numbers are used. They are also known as counting numbers. The counting process starts with number 1. Hence, 1 is the smallest counting number. The highest natural number cannot be termed because natural numbers are infinite. The addition of natural numbers results in a natural number in the same way the multiplication of natural numbers results in a natural number. Whole numbers. In natural numbers, when the number 0 is increased, we get numbers such as 0, 1, 2, 3. These are known as whole numbers. Whole numbers are infinite. The addition of whole numbers gives a whole number, as also the multiplication of whole numbers results in a whole number. In any whole number, if we subtract the same number, we get 0, which itself is a whole number.
Properties of addition. Following are the properties of addition. The numbers in each example are whole numbers. Their sum is also a whole number. Even if we change the order of the numbers to be added, their sum remains the same. If 0 is added to any number, their sum is equal to that number. When we add any 3 whole numbers, their sum remains the same whether we carry out the first addition first or the second addition first. We can write these properties by using letters for numbers as shown below. If A, B and C are whole numbers, then A plus B is also a whole number. A plus B is equal to B plus A. A plus 0 is equal to A. Also, 0 plus A is equal to A. Into bracket A plus B bracket complete plus C is equal to A plus into bracket B plus C bracket complete. Property of multiplication. If A, B and C are any whole numbers, then A multiplied by B is also a whole number. A multiplied by B is equal to B multiplied by A. A multiplied by 1 is equal to 1 multiplied by A is equal to A. A multiplied by 0 is equal to 0 multiplied by A is equal to 0. Into bracket A multiplied by B bracket complete multiplied by C is equal to A multiplied by into bracket B multiplied by C bracket complete. A property of multiplication and addition when used together. 23 boys and 28 girls of a class went for a picnic. If the contribution was rupees 50 per head, what was the total amount collected? Method 1. Total number of boys and girls is equal to 23 plus 28 is equal to 51. Therefore, total amount collected is equal to 50 into bracket 23 plus 21 bracket complete is equal to 50 multiplied by 51 is equal to rupees 2550. Method 2. Amount collected from boys is equal to rupees 50 multiplied by 23 and amount collected from girls is equal to rupees 50 multiplied by 28. Therefore, the total amount collected is equal to 50 multiplied by 23 plus 50 multiplied by 28 is equal to 1150 plus 1400 is equal to 2550. From the two methods of solving the problem, we can see that 50 into bracket 23 plus 28 is equal to 50 multiplied by 23 plus 50 multiplied by 28. In the same way, verify for yourself that the values in the following examples also remain the same. 4 into bracket 9 plus 6 bracket complete and 4 multiplied by 9 plus 4 multiplied by 6. 12 multiplied by 5 plus 12 multiplied by 15 and 12 into bracket 5 plus 15 bracket complete. From the above examples, we learn another property, namely that if A, B, C are any whole numbers, then A plus into bracket B plus C is equal to A into B plus A into C, or that A into B plus A into C is equal to A into bracket B plus C.
Now friends, now we are show the introduction. After that, we are show the exercise of mathematics. We are show the exercise of mathematics. In exercise, we are show the problems and how to the solve this problem. The topic is natural numbers and whole numbers. Now friends, now we are just show the exercise of mathematics, and in this exercise we are show the problems and you are understand how to solve the problems. Then now we are close the exercise of mathematics and we are going to next topic. The next topic is science. Science is divided in three parts: study, games and test. We are show the first part is study. In study you will see all the topics. Also we cover of 6th standard science textbook. For example, we take a topic classification of living things. In this topic we can three parts: introduction, summary, question and answer. Now we are show the first topic is introduction. In introduction we not see only textual information but also there is background sound, images, videos and animation is included, which will help to improve your performance of study and easily understand to all of student.
Lesson number 2, Classification of Living Things. Students, you have learnt in the last lesson the characteristics of living things. These characteristics are not observed in non-living things. Plants and animals are included in living things. You can see animals and plants from a tiny small size to a big size like elephant. Classification of plants and animals is done to study them easily. The credit for classifying plants goes to the scientist Carolus Linnaeus. His method of classifying plants is used all over the world. Criteria for classification. You can identify plants by their characteristic structure, leaves, fruits, flowers, colors, smell, etc. Similarly, you can recognize various animals by the shape of their body, color, the sound they make, etc. The similarities, differences, and the variety among living things can be used as the criteria for their classification. Classification of plants. Number 1. Flowering and non-flowering plants. Non-flowering plants. Plants that do not bear flowers are called non-flowering plants. Example, Spirogyra, ferns, funguses, etc. Flowering plants. Plants that bear flowers are called flowering plants. Example, rose, datura, jasmine, etc. Number 2. Plants can be classified according to the differences in the height of their stems and branches. A. Trees. Plants that grow very tall and have strong hard stems or trunks are called trees. Example, mango, banyan. These trees have strong hard trunk, many branches, which branch out again many times. Such trees have a leafy rounded appearance. The coconut and palmyra palms have strong hard stems but do not have branches. Leaves grow only at the top of the stem. Such plants with such stems grow very tall. B. Shrubs. Plants of medium height with strong hard stems are called shrubs. These plants are of medium height, that is 2 to 3 meters tall. They have strong stems. The stems begin to branch out close to the ground. Example, orange, lemon, hibiscus, etc. C. Climbers and creepers. Plants having weak stems that grow on support are called climbers or creepers. Example, bitter gourd, cucumber, pumpkin, grapevine, etc. D. Herb. Plants with soft and flexible stems are called herbs. They are 1 to 1.5 meters tall. Example: lemongrass, basil, Bengal gram, chili, etc. Number 3. Plants can be classified on the basis of the length of their life cycle. A. Perennial. Plants that live for many years are called perennials or perennial plants. Example: peepal, mango, banyan, neem, etc. These plants bear fruits and flowers for many years. B. Biennials. Plants which complete their life cycle in 2 years are called biennial. Example: radishes, carrots, beetroot, etc. They bear fruits and flowers only once. After that they dry up and wither away. C. Annual. Plants which complete their life cycle in 1 year are called annuals. They bear flowers only once. After that they dry up. Example: sunflower, jawar, bajra, marigold, etc. Classification of animals. 1. Domestic and wild animals. Dogs and cats are classified as domestic animals, while tigers and lions are classified as wild animals. Unicellular and multicellular animals. Amoeba, paramecium are called unicellular animals. Animals like mouse, dog, elephants, etc. are called multicellular animals. Terrestrial animals. Animals like horse, donkey, cat, dog who live on land are called terrestrial animals. Aquatic animals. The animals who live in water are called aquatic animals. Example: fish, jellyfish, octopus, etc. Amphibious animals. Animals who live both on land and in water are called amphibious animals. Example: frog, tortoise, crocodile, etc. Vertebrate and invertebrate animals. Animals that have a vertebral column are called vertebrate animals. Example: man, fish, frog, lizards, etc. Animals that do not have a vertebral column are called invertebrate animals. Example: amoeba, earthworms, snails, etc. Invertebrate have less developed brains. Classification based on body covering. The skin protects an animal's body. Vertebrates have an additional covering made up of scales, hair, or feathers for protection. The vertebrates may be classified into 3 groups as: A. Animals with scales. Animals like fish, snakes, lizards, tortoise, chameleons have scales on their bodies. B. Animals with hair. Monkeys, bears have bodies covered with hair called fur. C. Animals with feathers. Eagles, parrots, peacocks, etc. have feathers. Oviparous animals. Those animals that are hatched out of eggs are called oviparous animals. Example: young ones of birds break the eggs and come out. Animals that give birth to young ones are called viviparous animals. Example: man, cat, dog, etc.
Now friends, we are close the introduction of classification, and after that we are see summary of classification of living things.
Summary.
In summary, we are
Number
giving
1. Classification of plants and animals is done to make a detailed study of plants and animals. Number 2. The similarities and differences among living things can be used as criteria for their classification. Number 3. Plants are classified as flowering plants and non-flowering plants. Number 4. Plants can be classified according to the differences in the height of their stems and their branches in trees, shrubs, herbs, climbers, and creepers. Number 5. Plants can be classified on the basis of length of their life cycle in perennials, biennials, and annuals. Number 6. Animals are classified into vertebrate and invertebrate. Number 7. Animals are classified into unicellular and multicellular animals.
now see the third part is question and answer. In this section we are include all types of question, therefore you do not need to read other books.
Chapter 2. Classification of living things. Answer the following in 1 or 2 sentences. What are non-flowering plants? The plants that do not bear flowers are called as non-flowering plants. Explain the term vertebrate animals. The animals that have a vertebral column are called as vertebrate animals. Explain the term invertebrate animals. The animals which do not possess a vertebral column are known as invertebrate animals. In which groups can the animals be classified on the basis of their body covering? Based on the type of body covering, the animals can be classified into 3 groups as animals with scales, animals with hair, and animals having feathers. Answer the following in brief. How can plants be classified on the basis of flowering? Based on flowering, the plants can be classified into 2 types as follows. Flowering plants, the plants which bear flowers, for example, mango, hibiscus. Non-flowering plants, the plants which do not bear flowers, for example, fern, Spirogyra. Explain the terms viviparous and oviparous animals. Animals which directly give birth to a young one are called as viviparous animals. The animals which lay eggs from which their young ones hatch out are called as oviparous animals. Write a short note on the following. Classification of plants based on the differences in height of their stems and branches. Plants can be classified based on the differences in the height of stems and branches. The tall plants with a strong hard stem are called as trees. For example, banyan tree, mango tree. Medium height plants with strong hard stems are called as shrubs. For example, lemon, orange. Plants with weak stems that grow on support are called as climbers or creepers. For example, cucumber, gourd. Plants with soft and flexible stems are called as herb. For example, basil, chili. Classification of plants on the basis of the length of their life cycle. Plants can be classified based on the length of their life cycle as follows. The plants that live more many years are called as perennials or perennial plants. These plants bear flowers and fruits for many years. For example, mango, banyan. Plants that complete their life cycle in 2 years are called as biennials. These plants bear flowers and fruits only once. They dry up later, for example, radish, beetroot. Annuals are the plants that complete their life cycle in the span of 1 year. They bear flowers only once, for example, jowar, sunflower. Explain the classification of animals based on their habitat. Animals can be classified on the basis of their habitat in the following way. Terrestrial animals. The animals which live on land are called as terrestrial animals. For instance, horse, cat, etc. Aquatic animals. The animals that live in water are called as aquatic animals. For example, fish, octopus. Amphibious animals. The animals which can live on land as well as in water are called as amphibious animals. For instance, tortoise, frog, etc.
Now friends, we are close the study section, and after that we are going to next a second part of game. In game we are include 16 educational games in which 4 games are selected for each standard. For 6 standard, selected games are Ram and Ravan, Aladdin, Fish and Crow. For demo, we play Ram Ravan games. Friends, in these games, all the chapters are given in which you have to select one or more chapters. Also, there is 2 options are provided. First is all questions and second is any 5 questions. Now we are selecting classifications of living thing and select the any 5 questions option. In Ram Ravan game, we see 4 different color arrows which is same point, same color, which is given to the option. You have to select proper option, means correct answer. That time God, Ram, pick select option color arrow and through to side of Ravan. If your option is correct, it means your answer is correct, then you have to be increase 10 marks. And if your answer is wrong, then Ravan not dead and your marks does not increases. The one message box is display. The message is, do you want to play again? Then friends, you have to play again, then click the right option. and you want to exit the game, then select close option. Now we are close the game and we are turned to the third part is test. In this section you have to give a objective test in which you here to select proper option. After finish all questions, result will be displayed. Also you can see wrong answer with correct answer in right answer option. The wrong answer, the color is maroon and right answer is color is green. Friends, now we are select the chapter is classification of living things and select the any 5 questions option. Now start your test. The 4 option is there. You have to correct one option. Now friends, your exam is over and your result is displayed. In the result sheet, show the required timing and getting marks. If you want to see your right answer, then click the right answer option, and after that wrong answer is painted by maroon color and right answer is painted by green color. You check your answers. After that exit the question and answer chapter. Now friends, now we move to next subject is history. The history is 3 part. First is study, second is game and third is test. Now we are see the first part, study. In this part all chapters are given. In this part we also cover whole textbook of history subject. Let's see, the topic is the Harappa civilization. The topic is divided into 3 parts. First is introduction, second is summary and third is question and answer. Let's see introduction of the Harappa civilization. In introduction we see there is information is not displayed in textual form, but also we include background voice, images and animation, which is help to capture and remind knowledge easily.
Lesson 4th, the Harappa civilization. In 1921, it was found that Harappa civilization existed on the banks of river Ravi, and in 1922, excavations at Mohenjo-daro in Sindh led to the discovery of an ancient and advanced Indian civilization which was about 5,000 years old. Today, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro are in Pakistan. Remains of this civilization have also been found at Rupad, Lothal, Surkotada, Kutaski, Dholbira, Rakhigarhi, Rangpur, Alamgirpur, Kalibangan and Daimabad. All these places were situated in the river basins. Settlements belonging to Harappa civilization had spread in the basins of river Ravi and Indus. Excellent town planning, well-laid roads, houses, drains for sewage disposal, baths, ornaments, toys, terracotta pots, seals and the use of metals like copper, silver, gold are some of the characteristic features of Harappa civilization. Town planning. Remains of the entire towns show that a big wall was built around the town for protection. There were watchtowers at regular distances on these walls. Roads. Roads in the towns were straight and long, intersecting one another at right angles. Houses. The intersecting roads divided the town into rectangular sections. Each section had 25 to 30 houses. Houses were built along both sides of the roads and by using baked and unbaked bricks. There was sufficient distance between two houses to ensure proper ventilation. The houses were built on plinths as a precaution against the frequent flooding of rivers. Sewage disposal. There were closed drains that ran about 1 meter beneath the ground on both sides of the roads. Special arrangements were made to ensure that they did not get choked. This system of sewage disposal was ideal from the point of view of cleanliness and hygiene. The Great Bath. A spacious bath has been excavated at Mohenjo-daro. One of the tanks were measures 12 meters long, 7 meters wide and 2.5 meters deep. The inner side of the tank was built with baked bricks to prevent seepage of water. There were steps leading down to the tank. Provision was made for draining, cleaning and refilling the tank from time to time. Remains of 7 settlements situated on top of the other have been found in the excavation. The characteristics of the civilization show that it was an urban civilization. The people here gave a lot of importance to cleanliness and hygiene. It seems that these towns had an administrative system like the modern local self-governments for strict implementation of rules and regulations.
Now friends, introduction part is completed and we are going to second part. Second part is summary. In summary, we including important point which is needed at the time of exam.
Summary. Mohenjo-daro and Harappa were the advanced Indian civilization which were about 5,000 years old. Remains of this civilization have been found in Ropad, Lothal, Surkotada, Kuteski, Dholvira, Rakhigarhi, Rangpur, Alamgirpur, Kalibangan and Daimabad in India. Excellent town planning, well-laid roads, houses, drains for sewage disposal, baths, ornaments, toys, terracotta pots, the use of metals like copper, silver, gold are some of the characteristics of Harappa civilization. One of the spacious baths in Mohenjo-daro was 12 meters long, 7 meters wide and 2.5 meters deep. Remains of 7 settlements situated one on the top of the other have been found at Mohenjo-daro. The people of Harappan civilization gave a lot of importance to cleanliness and hygiene. It seems that this civilization followed strict implementation of rules and regulations.
Then friends, after that we are going to third part is question and answer. In this topic, we are adding all types of question and answer which will help to you at the time of exam.
Chapter 4 Harappa Civilization. Answer the following. Where have the remains of the Harappa civilization been found in India? Remains of Harappa civilization have been found in many places in India. Important among them are Rupert, Rakhigarhi, Lothal, Surkotada,
Dholavira, Kuntasi, Rangpur, Alamgirpur, Kalibangan and Daimabad. Why did the Harappa people build their houses on raised plinths? The Harappa people built their houses on raised plinths as a precaution against the frequent floodings of the rivers. State the characteristic features of Harappa civilization. Excellent town planning, well-laid roads, houses, drains for sewage disposal, baths, ornaments, toys, terracotta pots, sills, and the use of metals like copper, silver and gold. These are some of the characteristic features of Harappa civilization. Write short notes on town planning of Harappan people. A. Town planning. A big wall was built around the town for protection. There were watchtowers at regular distance on these walls. B. Roads. Roads in the towns were straight and long, intersecting one another at right angles. C. Houses. The intersecting roads divided the town into rectangular sections. Each section had 25 to 30 houses. Houses were built along both the sides of the road. Both types of bricks, banked and unbanked, were used in construction of houses. There was sufficient distance between two houses for ventilation. The houses were built on raised plinths as a precaution against frequent floods. D. Sewage disposal. There were closed drains that ran about 1 meter beneath the ground on both sides of the roads. Special agreements were made to ensure that they did not get choked. This system of sewage disposal was ideal from the point of view of cleanliness and hygiene. Write short note on the Great Bath. A spacious bath has been excavated at Mohenjo-daro. One of the tanks there measures 12 meter long, 7 meter wide and 2.5 meter deep. The inner side of the tank was built with backed bricks to permanent seepage of water. There were steps leading down to the tank. Provision was made for draining, cleaning and refilling the tank from time to time.
After that, friends, we are completed the study part. After, we are going to second topic is games part. The game part is we adding 16 different educational games in which 4 games are selected for each standard. The 4 games is Ram and Ravan, Aladdin, Crow and Fish. For example, we are play Aladdin game. Students, in this game, friends, in this game we see all topic name and 2 options, which is first is all questions and second is any 5 questions. Here we selected any 5 questions option. After, the topic is the Harappa civilization. In this game, Aladdin is standing near river. In this river, fed different color magic cups are flowing. Which color is same as option provided for ask questions? Means you have to select one correct answer. And selected option colors magic cup. If your answer is correct, then your marks added by 10. And magical genie said that you are right. Otherwise, your marks doesn't add and Aladdin getting fell in the river. After finishing the game, one message box is displayed. That is, do you want to play again? If you want to play again, then select correct button, and if you want to exit, then select exit button. Now the game is closed. After the game part, we are show the test. Here all the chapters are displayed. Two options are given in solve the test. One is all questions and second is any 5 questions. First we select the chapter the Harappa civilization and select the option of any 5 question. Now your test is start. Here your questions and 4 options. Choose the correct option. Now your exam is finished, then result is displayed. In result, including required timing and getting marks. If you want to see your right answer, then click the right answer option. After that, correct answer is displayed green color and wrong answer is displayed maroon color. Then friends, now the test option is closed. Friends, let's start another subject. The next subject is civics. Civics subject is divided into 3 parts. First is study, second is game, and third is test. We are show the first stage is study. In the study, civics show the all chapters. For example, let's see the Gram Panchayat. The topic is divided into 3 parts: introduction, summary, and question and answer. We show the introduction of the topic. In introduction, we are not only add the textual information but also images, background voice, and animation is also included, which will increase your interest to doing study and more study.
Lesson number 2. The Gram Panchayat. Many of the people in our country live in villages. Our country will prosper only if our villages prosper. The affairs of the village are managed by the Gram Panchayat, those of Taluka by the Panchayat Samiti, and those of a district by the Zilla Parishad. These institutions are known as rural local government bodies. The local government bodies that manage affairs of the rural areas are collectively called Panchayats or Panchayat Raj institutions. The Gram Panchayat, the Panchayat Samiti and the Zilla Parishad are the 3 elements of Panchayat Raj. Before the British rule, our villages were self-sufficient. The affairs of the village, from collection of taxes to settlement of disputes, were managed by the villagers themselves. British concentrated on the development of the cities. For their own benefit, they neglected our villages. After independence, a number of schemes were launched for the development of the rural areas. Hence, affairs at the local level were entrusted to the local representatives. Giving power of local governance to the people in that area is known as decentralization of power. The Gram Panchayat. It is the basic unit of the Panchayati Raj. Composition. The Gram Panchayat consists of a minimum of 7 and maximum of 17 members in proportion with the population of the village. Some of the seats are reserved for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and the backward class of citizens. Some seats are reserved for women. This gives all of them the opportunity to participate in the administration of the village. The representatives are elected to the Gram Panchayat from the village itself to manage the affairs of the village. They are elected by ballot on the basis of adult franchise. The village is divided into wards for electing these members of Gram Panchayat. Terms of office and eligibility. Elections of Gram Panchayat are held every 5 years. Eligibility. 1. He or she should be a citizen of India. 2. He or she must have completed 21 years of age. 3. He or she must have enrolled in the local voters list. Term of office. Members are elected for a term of 5 years. The Sarpanch. The head of the Gram Panchayat is the Sarpanch. The Sarpanch and the Upasarpanch are elected from among the elected members of the Gram Panchayat. Women can get the opportunity of becoming the Sarpanch. The Sarpanch is appointed for 5 years. The Gram Panchayat carries out its work under the guidance of the Sarpanch. He is responsible for actual implementation of development schemes for the village. He presides over the meetings of the Gram Panchayat. The Sarpanch is assisted by the Upasarpanch in his duties. Gram Sevak. He is a person appointed by the government to look after the day-to-day working of the Gram Panchayat. He informs the villagers about the various development schemes. He prepares the budget of Gram Panchayat, looks after the record of the Gram Panchayat, informs the villagers on matters relating to health, agriculture, education and developmental programs. He is a link between the government and the villagers. Functions of Gram Panchayat. The Gram Panchayat provides various services and facilities to the villagers. Some of the functions of the Gram Panchayat are as follows. 1. Construction and maintenance of village roads. 2. Lighting of roads and public places. 3. Keeping the village clean. 4. Arranging for the disposal of waste matter and dirt. 5. Supplying drinking water. 6. Making arrangements for markets, fairs and festivals. 7. Keeping a record of births, deaths and marriages. 8. Providing health services and facilities. 9. Implementing development schemes related to agriculture and animal husbandry. 10. Planting trees in and around the village and to protect the environment. 11. Maintaining public parks and playgrounds, etc. 12. Implementing various government schemes. Sources of income. The Gram Panchayat obtains money to carry out the development work in village through property tax, water tax, tax on the weekly bazaar, pilgrimage tax, etc. Besides this, the Gram Panchayat receives grants from the state government and the Zilla Parishad. The Gram Sabha. It is the assembly of all the persons registered in the voters list relating to that village. The Sarpanch acts as the chairman of the Gram Sabha. The Gram Sabha approves the development schemes proposed by the Gram Panchayat. Before the meeting of the Gram Sabha, a meeting of the women members is held where they can voice their problems. In this meeting, solutions to problems like drinking water, prohibition employment, fuel and health, etc. are found. Importance of the Gram Sabha. 1. The Gram Sabha guides the Gram Panchayat regarding the development of the village. 2. Through the Gram Sabha, the villagers can exercise effective control on the activities of the Gram Panchayat. 3. The people in villages can obtain information about various development schemes and the money spent on them. 4. It gives direction to the development of a village.
Now introduction is closed. After that we are going to the summary. In this section, important point of the topic is given, which will help to do more study within short time period.
Chapter 2. The Gram Panchayat. Summary. The affairs of the village are managed by the Gram Panchayat, those of a taluka by the Panchayat Samiti, and those of a district by the Jilha Parishad. The Gram Panchayat, the Panchayat Samiti, and the Jilha Parishad are the three elements of Panchayati Raj. After independence, a number of the schemes were launched for the development of the rural areas. Giving power to local government to the people in that area is known as decentralization of power. The village is divided into wards for electing the members of the Gram Panchayat. The head of the Gram Panchayat is the Sarpanch. The Gram Sevak is the person appointed by the government to look after the day-to-day working of the Gram Panchayat. The Gram Sabha is the assembly of all the persons registered in the voters list relating to that village. Women came together to work effectively in the Gram Sabha on issues like drinking water, prohibition, employment, small savings group, fuel and health. Through the Gram Sabha, the villagers can exercise effective control on the activities of the Gram Panchayat.
Then friends, after that we are going to last option is question and answer.
The Gram Panchayat. Answer in one sentence. Which are the three elements of the Panchayati Raj? The Gram Panchayat, the Panchayat Samiti and the Jilha Parishad are the three elements of Panchayati Raj. How are the members of a Gram Panchayat elected? The members of a Gram Panchayat are elected by ballot on the basis of adult franchisee. Write a short note. Sarpanch. A. The head of the Gram Panchayat is the Sarpanch. B. The Sarpanch and the Upasarpanch, that is, Deputy Sarpanch, are elected from among the elected members of the Gram Panchayat. C. The Sarpanch is appointed for a period of 5 years. D. He is responsible for actually implementing the schemes for the development of the village. E. He presides over the meeting of the Gram Panchayat. Gram Sevak. A. The Gram Sevak is a person appointed by the government to look after the day-to-day working of the Gram Panchayat. B. He works as the secretary of the Gram Panchayat. C. The Gram Sevak informs the villagers about the various development schemes. D. He is an important link between the government and the villagers. E. The Gram Sevak prepares the budget of the Gram Panchayat. F. He looks after the record of the Gram Panchayat and educates and informs the villagers on matters relating to health, agriculture, education and development programs. The importance of Gram Sabha. A. The Gram Sabha is a platform for the people in the village to come together. B. They guide the Gram Panchayat regarding the development of the village. C. Through the Gram Sabha, the village can exercise effective control on the activities of the Gram Panchayat. D. The Gram Sabha can bring about a transformation of their village. E. It gives direction to the development of a village.
After that, after the study, we are going to the second part of civics is game. In game, there are 16 games are given. Out of these 4 games. For 6th standard, a selected game are Ram Ravan, Crow, Aladdin and Fish. We play Ram Ravan game. In this game, all chapters are given in which you have to select one or more topic. Also there two options are given, which is first is all questions and second is any 5 questions. You select the second option is any 5 questions and the topic is the Gram Panchayat. In this game, 4 different color arrows are given, which is the same like option provided for questions. Go in the option, you have to select proper answer and color arrow of selected option. If your answer is right, then your marks increases by 10 and Ravan getting die. Otherwise, your marks does not increases and Ravan not die. After finishing the game, one message box is displayed, that is, do you want to play again? If you want to play again, then select correct button, and if you want to exit, then select exit button. Now the game is exit, and after that we are going to the test. Here all the chapters are displayed. Two options are given in the test. First is all questions and second is any 5 questions. You have to select the second option is any 5 questions and the topic is selected the Gram Panchayat. After that, now test is started. Here test questions and the 4 options. You have to select correct option and your test is start. Now your test is finished. After that, result your display. In result, including required timing and getting marks. If you want to see your right answer, then click the right answer option. After that, correct answer is display green color and wrong answer is display maroon color. After that, friends, the test is completed and the topic is also completed. Now friends, let's start another subject and the subject is geography. This is the last subject of 6th standard. Geography is divided into 3 parts. First is study, second is game, and third is test. Now we are see the first part is study. In the study, you are show the all subject, and after that we are show the topic is a season, and in the session part is divided into 3 sections. First is introduction, second is summary, and third is question and answer. Now see the first part is introduction. In introduction, we are not only adding textual information but also images, background and voice and animation is included, which will increase your interest to doing more study.
Lesson 3, Seasons. Students, do you know that in India there are 4 seasons? Summer, monsoon, the season of retreating monsoon, and winter. The climate of each season is different. Except the equatorial region, other regions experience a considerable difference in the climatic conditions during the year. The apparent movement of the sun. The place where the sun rises keeps changing every day. During the period from 21st June to 22nd December, the place of sunrise moves more and more towards the south. So, this period is called the Dakshinayan or the southward journey of the sun. From 22nd December to 21st June, the place of the sunrise moves more and more towards the north. So, this period is called the Uttarayan or the northward journey of the sun. Looking from the earth, it appears that the sun is moving either to the north or to the south. Such a movement of the sun is called the apparent movement of the sun. Due to orbital movement of the earth, 2 equinox positions and 2 solstice positions occur. Equinox. When both the poles of the earth are in front of the sun, it is called an equinox position. This position occurs on 22nd March and 23rd September. So, these 2 days are called equinox days. On these days, the sun's rays fall perpendicular on the equator at noon. It means that on the equator, the sun is exactly overhead at noon. On these days, day and night are of equal duration everywhere on the earth, which of 12 hours each. The equinox on 22nd March is called the vernal equinox, and the equinox on 23rd September is called autumnal equinox in the northern hemisphere. Solstice. When any one of the poles is inclined towards the sun to its maximum, it is called solstice. The solstice occurs on 21st June and 22nd December. These 2 days are called solstice days. Summer solstice. After 22nd March or the vernal equinox, as the earth moves forward in its orbit, the north pole inclines more and more towards the sun. On 21st June, the Tropic of Cancer receives perpendicular sun rays at noon. On this day, the midday sun is exactly overhead at the Tropics of Cancer. In the northern hemisphere, 21st June is called summer solstice. In the northern hemisphere,
the illuminated parts are greater than the dark parts. Therefore, in northern hemisphere, days are longer and nights are short. In the Arctic Circle, the sun will remain visible in the sky for a period of 24 hours or more. At the North Pole, the sun will continue to appear in the sky for a period of 6 months, that is, from 22nd March to 23rd September. Winter solstice. After 23rd September, the Earth moves forward in its orbit. The South Pole inclines more and more towards the Sun. On 22nd December, the Tropic of Capricorn receives perpendicular sun rays. On this day, the midday sun is exactly overhead on the Tropic of Capricorn. In the southern hemisphere, the illuminated parts are more than dark parts. Therefore, days are longer in the southern hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, 22nd December is known as winter solstice. Seasons and their cycle. From the vernal equinox onwards, days become longer in the northern hemisphere. During this period, the northern hemisphere receives more heat of the sun and thus the temperature rises. Therefore, from 22nd March to 23rd September, it is summer in the northern hemisphere. During the same period, nights are longer in the southern hemisphere. Rays of the sun become more slanting, so less heat is received. Therefore, it is winter in the southern hemisphere. From 23rd September to 22nd March, the days are longer in southern hemisphere. So, there is summer in the southern hemisphere. During same period, nights are longer in the northern hemisphere. So, there is winter in the northern hemisphere. Seasons in the two hemispheres occur in different periods, one after the other. This is the cycle of the seasons.
Now, the introduction part is completed. After that, we are see the second part of summary. In this section, important points of the topic is given, which will help to doing more study within short time period.
Chapter 3 Seasons. Summary. Different seasons occur in one year. The apparent movement of the sun. Dakshinayan is the southward journey of the sun during the period from 21st June to 22nd December. Uttarayan is the northward journey of the sun during the period from 22nd December to 21st June. Equinox. Both the poles of the earth are in front of the sun on 22nd March and 23rd September in the equinox position. Solstice. One of the poles of the earth is inclined towards the sun to its maximum on 21st June and 22nd December in the solstice position. Summer solstice. 21st June is called summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. The north pole of the earth is more inclined towards the sun. Winter solstice. 22nd December is called the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. The south pole of the earth is more inclined towards the sun. At the equator, the day and night are of equal duration throughout the year. Seasons and their cycle. From the vernal equinox onwards, days become longer in the northern hemisphere. From 22nd March to 23rd September, it is summer in the northern hemisphere while it is winter in the southern hemisphere. Summer and winter are experienced due to the difference in the heat received. The occurring of winter and summer one after the other continuously is the cycle of seasons.
The question, we are see the third part of question and answer. Now in this section all types of question and answer are given which will help student at the time of exam.
Chapter 3 Seasons. Write the answers in 1 or 2 sentences. Of how many hours is the night and day on the equinox? On the equinox, the day and night are of 12 hours each. What season is it in the northern hemisphere from 22nd March to 23rd September? It is summer in the northern hemisphere from 22nd March to 23rd September. What season is it in the southern hemisphere from 23rd September to 22nd March? It is summer in the southern hemisphere from 23rd September to 22nd March. Answer in one sentence. What is an equinox position? When both the poles are in front of the sun, it is called an equinox position. Which date is known as the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere? 21st June is known as the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. Which date is known as the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere? In the northern hemisphere, 22nd December is known as winter solstice. Write short answers. What is a season? A season is a particular period of a year having a specific climate. The climate of each season is different. Except the equatorial region, other regions experience a considerable change in the climatic condition during the year. Different seasons occur in one year. Of which motion of the earth is the season an effect? The season is an effect of the orbital motion of the earth. During rotation of the earth, the distance between the sun and the earth does not remain constant. This leads to climatic changes and thus seasons are formed on the earth. What is meant by the apparent movement of the sun? From 21st June to 22nd December, the place of sunrise moves more and more towards the south. From 22nd December to 21st June, the place of sunrise appears to move more and more towards the north. The earth with its inclined axis rotates around the sun. That is why, looking from the earth, it appears that the sun is moving either to the north or to the south in spite of the sun being a stationary celestial body. Such a movement is known as the apparent movement of the sun.
Friends, question and answer is completed and after that study is complete and we are going to the second part of the geography's games. In game, there are 16 games are given out of these 4 games. For 6th standard, or selected games are Ram Ravan, Crow, Aladdin and Fish. In this game, all chapters are given in which we have select one or more topics and we are play the game Ram and Ravan. In this option, play the 2 options are displayed. First is all questions and second is any 5 questions. The select option is any 5 questions and the chapter is select season. In this game, 4 different color arrows are given which is same like option provided for questions. Go in the option you have to select proper answer and color arrow of selected option. If your answer is right, then your marks increases by 10 and Ravan getting die. Otherwise, your marks not increase and Ravan not die. you play the game. Your game is close and the one option is display. Do you want to play again? If you want to play again, then select correct button, and if you want to exit, then select exit button. Now the game is closed, and after that we are going to the third option is test. Now we see the text section. In the section, multiple choice questions are given. For this, you have to select one or more topic. Any one option from all questions and all two questions. All five options, and you select the option is any five option, and the chapter is season. For example, after finish, all questions result will be displayed. Now test is started. Here test questions and option. You have to select correct option. Your test is finished, then your result is displayed. In the result, including required timing and getting marks. If you want to see your right answer, then click the right answer option. And after that, correct answer is displayed green color and wrong answer is displayed maroon color. And after that, the test is exit. Friends, if you have any requirement of e-learning software, then follows the following information. Our company name, Comfort System. Our corporate office number 6, second floor, Krupa Prasad, near Sane Guruji Smarak, Dandekar Bridge, Sihagad Road, Pune 30, and telephone number 9420694161, and contact for sales 8411890303 or 8411900303 or 8411910303 or 8411920303 or 8411940303 or 8411950303. Contact for support 8411070505 or 8411090505. If you want true extra or whole information, then go to our website www.confersystems.com or www.ejuplus.co.in.